Right. And I'm live here with Danny Duggan of CWE. I'd like to first ask you your health status after that brutal car accident in which psychosis saved your life.
Yeah, that was almost 2 years ago. So luckily,
Yeah.
I'm doing well. I'm healthy. I'm back into the gym, back into the ring, and everything's good. I've got some long-term effects, just from the wear and tear of professional wrestling that's done to my body. On top of that car accident, that I'll probably have to live with the rest of my life. But I'm alive. I'm healthy, and I'm still going.
Yeah, I read that you're at Mississauga Hospital. I really wanted to visit you then, but I didn't really know you too well, so I gave you your space and stuff, and yeah.
Oh, thank you. I don't even remember which hospital I was at. I was completely out of it.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's insane. So I noticed a bit of a like a difference in the look of your attire. Uh, has your gimmick changed at all?
No, I'm still the same Hotshot Danny Duggan. What you see is what you get. So,
Cool.
I like to represent and throw back to the glory days of professional wrestling and professional wrestling I grew up loving, and I like to keep that tradition alive. I know we're in very much an industry of evolution and new and fresh, but I still like to show respect and that made me fall in love with a great sport that's provided a great life for me. So I still to this day like to as much as I can.
Yeah, that's what I really love about CWE, that traditionalist and that well, I don't know if you call it old school. To me, that's what pro wrestling should be. Not so much all this hardcore high spot.
I completely
Yeah. Cool.
I completely agree, and that's something CWE provided themselves on. That was on our shirt we released. It was, the Canadian Wrestling's Elite logo, and it said where real pro wrestling still lives. Something that's a motto I firmly believe and stand by with Canadian Wrestling's Elite, because it's the professional wrestling we all grew up on and love, and the professional wrestling that is still very prevalent today. And there's this major misperception. People go, oh, that's that old stuff. It's outdated, it doesn't work. No, it's because you don't know how to do it properly. Professional wrestling, when it's done right and done properly, is the greatest art form in the world, and I firmly believe that. And if you know how to do it right, and there's still guys that do, even though it's few and far between, there are guys that still represent that style of professional wrestling in some of the major organizations, and I go on record saying those are probably the best wrestlers in the world, and their matches definitely stand out from the guys that try to blend in with everybody else and go with the crowd.
Cool. That's awesome. So what's COVID-19's impact been on CWE?
It's completely raped and pillaged us, man. It's been brutal. We were, this all started about a year ago now. And right when this started, we were supposed to do a 36-day tour that was supposed to span Vancouver through Montreal, which was supposed to be our debut in Quebec, having our biggest year. We were going to have more live events than any other year in company history last year. And it came crashing down. So we were still able to produce, I believe, like 20 or 25 events between Manitoba and Alberta. Draw with very limited capacity. We were allowed 100 people tops at those events. So it was definitely a change of pace. So not the CWE we like to present, but we're still keeping the brand alive. I know a lot of people are staying dormant and they're waiting until this all clears up. I don't think it's ever going to completely clear up. So I'm not going to stand by and watch, 12 years of hard work, fade to the wayside. So we're fighting to keep this alive. I believe that you can produce a live professional wrestling event in a safe environment for spectators and wrestlers, as we did prove with those 20 plus events last year. So we're just going to keep on pushing and keep on trying to stay active. And if they give us an inch, we're going to try to take a mile and just keep producing events when we can. We haven't done an event in 2021 yet. This is a scoop that hasn't been announced yet, but will be. So you're getting the first to hear it. We're going to be returning to television here in Manitoba. We're going to be doing weekly TV again. We're going to be doing weekly TV tapings. We're going to be doing a TV taping in a couple weeks to do a couple, I think 4 weeks of television we're going to get in the can, which is all going to be building up to presenting our first ever pay-per-view in April. So we're really excited to get back in the ring in some capacity. We'd obviously like to have some fans in the building and be doing what we love in front of a live crowd.
Yeah.
But because that's not being afforded to us right now, we're just gonna roll with the punches. We're gonna get on television, and we're gonna start producing some iPay-per-view and keep professional wrestling visible here in Canada.
Yeah, it seems to be a good trend. Like even with, I think CW has fairly good attendance numbers, but smaller independent organizations like NSW that gets really low attendance records, or numbers. I mean, they're going with iPay-per-views. So I think that's extra revenue for CWE. That'd be fantastic. When did
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I personally, personally, I don't, if I had to choose, I'd be wrestling in front of a crowd any day of the week.
Yeah. Sure.
I personally, I'm not a training center wrestler. I'm not an empty arena wrestler. I was trained in the art of, manipulating an audience with the story you're telling, which you're still doing to some degree, through the television set, but it's not exactly the same. But I'm looking forward to the new challenge and, figuring out new ways to, express my art, so to speak, through professional wrestling with that. And it's good, CW, like I mentioned, we're touring 6 provinces, regularly producing events in 40 plus towns. So it's not like we were just running one city and now we're going to be doing, live pay-per-view or live TV.
Yeah.
We've got fans across the country that were coming in droves in large numbers in the province. So hopefully we can culminate all those people into one place and start getting them to follow the product online. I know it's going to be a little bit of a challenge at first, but something we're committed to doing, and hopefully segue that back into live crowds in the future.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic. When did you get your start in pro wrestling training or pro wrestling in general? I saw pictures of you when you were younger. Yeah.
Yeah, I got into the business, as crazy it sounds, like when I was 12 years old. I started helping out at local shows, like ringing the bell and carrying ring jackets to the locker room and doing all those little things. Then when I was 14, I started training to professionally wrestle. So while I was in the middle of training, I started refereeing on small local events as well. And when I was 15 years old, I debuted as a professional wrestler. So that was 18 years ago last month. So my professional wrestling career is now a legal adult. So I'm getting old. I'm getting up there, but it's been a wild ride, and I still got a lot of gas in the tank.
Yeah. Cool. Any
looking forward to the next days.
Sorry, it's lagging. Oh, okay, there we go. Any really notable names that you pro wrestled with that you can maybe shout out to? I think we froze for a second.
Many times over my career. Everything's still good on my end here.
Yeah, now it's working.
Good. Yeah, no, I've you name them, whether it be WWE, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, more than likely been in the ring with them if they spent any time on the independents. If not, most definitely shared a locker car with them somewhere. You look at AEW World Champion Kenny Omega. I've done many battles with him. We're the first ever CW Tag Team Champions alongside him. You look at WWE. They've got a lot of guys there that I did a lot of stuff with, not only independently, but a lot of them have been here through CWE. And same with Impact, and I've also done a lot of wrestling myself in Ring of Honor. So I've been in the ring with many of the top guys in each company and been very blessed, but personally for me, we talked about me being, a fan of throwback professional wrestling. Those are always the most fun for me, is getting in the ring with guys like, I've had the opportunity to wrestle Jake the Snake Roberts and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and wrestled Bushwhacker Luke and guys like that. For me, those aren't the 5-star technical masterpieces people, rave about online. But for me, those are my favorite matches and the best matches to have, because you're getting in the ring with a bona fide superstar you grew up watching, and the crowd is always much more fun in those matches than they are in a traditional pro wrestling match. So I personally always look forward to those ones, and anytime I get the opportunity to step in the ring with somebody I grew up wanting to do this because of, it's definitely an honor, and those are the ones I appreciate.
Awesome. So I noticed that they had you on an angle as a security guard in the WWE, where you're holding somebody back or something like that, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I've probably done that about half a dozen times. I've been working with WWE doing live or doing extra work for TV tapings since 2010. So about 10 years now, I've been getting the call to go and do that. So anytime they're in Western Canada or they're in the Midwest. So I've got some good opportunities there. Like I did a couple pull aparts with, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Cool. Most notably the one I did that got the most view and went viral is, I think it was maybe 3-4 years ago now. I was a security guard, and Roman Reigns speared Braun Strowman through the barricade, and that one went viral over all over the internet with a couple million views in a matter of days. So that one was kind of fun to be a part of. It was definitely frightening to be a part of live, having a man the size of Braun Strowman coming at you, but luckily I lived to tell the tale.
Well, you definitely have a lot of size behind you, so I don't know if Braun Strowman can hold up. A lot of mass and stuff.
Well, I think that was the only reason I think that was the reason I was selected for that spot. But it was actually a funny story. I was supposed to be doing something else that day. They were going to have me doing another backstage segment as a security guard. So I was off getting fitted for something else, and all the other extras were at ringside when they were trying to pick somebody who was going to take this big bump from Braun. And they were all very small, so they're having trouble figuring out who it was going to be. And then I came back from my fitting or whatever it was I was doing backstage to join the group, and I think it was Jamie Noble who asked, he's like, "Hey, you one of the extras?" And I said, "Yeah, definitely am." He's like, "All right, you're the biggest one. You're coming with me." So they yanked me out of the other segment I was supposed to do, and volunteered me to be the sacrificial lamb for that one.
Oh, interesting. That's a fascinating story. Wow. What are we at right now? Do you follow any religions or religious customs, or it's kind of more personal question about your you as a person, I guess, not about wrestling?
Not specifically. I'm always have my ears open, and I'm always willing to listen to different philosophies and ideologies, and I just try to keep an open mind about everything. And if anything, my time on earth has taught me anything is possible. So I don't discount anyone in their opinion, and I like to try to keep an open mind that there definitely could be, and if there's not, that's possible too. So I'm not hardline one way or the other at this point in my life, and just try to keep an open mind to it all and see where this journey.
Cool. What's your food diet like?
Well, now that I'm back in the gym and getting ready to wrestle, it's a little more clean than it was for the last few months. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I think on lockdown, I ate out of every restaurant in Winnipeg in a matter of a few months. but now that it's back to training, it's back to your ground beef and your rice and your vegetables and your chicken and your fruit. And a very, very clean diet, and your protein shakes and none of the fun stuff. So it's been good though, after having some time off the road where typically you're having to try to eat as healthy as you can all the time because you're wrestling week to week. It was kind of nice to just let loose a little bit, enjoy life. And now it's kind of fun and refreshing again to kind of get on the diet and get back into full training mode and do it again, because 18 years and you make your living in a pair of spandex, you're on a break from it, and now you can appreciate it a little bit more starting over again, because it can get redundant doing it week after week, especially if you're training for specific opportunities where you're dieting extra hard or training extra hard. Once in a while that body reaches a level of fatigue. So it was nice to get a little bit of a break and enjoy some pizza and some cheeseburgers over the last few months, but it's back to business, and it's back to clean nutrition.
Cool. That sounds good, man. That's all the questions that I have written down. So yeah, I guess we can end here if that's okay. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, like I mentioned, CWE is going to be starting some weekly internet television and TV tapings again. So stay tuned to @CWE Canada on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for updates on those. There'll be information coming up very soon. As I mentioned, we haven't announced it yet. You're the first to hear it. So that will be announced shortly after, and as well as information on CWE's first live pay-per-view coming up in April. So stay tuned to all that. You can also follow me on social media at Hotshot Danny Duggan on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat as well.
Cool. Thank you so much, Danny. I really appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care now.